We heard on the radio that the searching was finished, and one of the boys entered the plane and say, I have two news to give you, one good and one bad. Well, what's the bad? The bad is the search had been finished. And what's the good? We're going walking from this place. Absolutely crazy at that moment because it was main winter, snow, 4,000 feet high. It was incredible. Afterwards, we say, this is between death and life.
Yeah.
You can choose.
Yeah.
And with 19 years, we choose life.
Okay.
And we make also a deal between the 28 that were there, that the ones that were alive must remain alive, eating the people that died.
So today I'm in Uruguay and I'm joined by a really, really special guest, Antonio Vizintin, otherwise known as Tintin. And for any of you that have seen the movie Society of the Snow or the previous movie Alive, or maybe you've read the book Alive, it's an incredible story of tragedy, and it's also a story where miracles happened. So Tintin is one of the living survivors, one of only 14 survivors from the crash in 1972 in the Andes. It was a plane journey filled with rugby players from the Old Christians rugby team in Uruguay, flying to Chile to play a match against the All Boys club in Santiago. The plane went down in a remote place in the Andes within Argentina. 72 days later, out of a total of 45 people on the flight, 16 men finally returned home. So I'm so pleased that Antonio is with me today. This is a journey of resilience. It's also an incredible journey of how a team needed to work efficiently together and make key decisions as a matter of life and death. Tintin, it's so good to finally be able to speak to you about your journey. I met you 9 years ago. Every time I come, I try and get to your house for a coffee to peel back some wisdom from you. And now I've got you for the next hour. How are you?
Fine, thank you. It's nice talking with you, talking about rugby, talking about my experience in the Andes.
Yeah.
They are mixed together.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm sure you've told the story 1,000 times, but I also believe a lot of people will listen to this podcast and they may have watched the movie, but they've not heard your story. They've not heard a real story of a real survivor that went through that ordeal over 72 days.
Yes, it was. Well, I was 19 years old at that time. Big difference. But as you say, the team worked very well. This is not only a teamwork, but the team that played rugby afterwards changed into a society by the rules we have to put so to make our lives more comfortable between the 28 that got alive after the crash and the ordeal through which we were through mainly were led or were pushed by rugby players.
Yeah, great. I remember coming to your apartment not long ago and you were telling me how what you learned growing up as a rugby team actually helped you in the Andes.
Yes, certainly. We learned it at school when we learned it playing rugby. As old Christians, I went to a Christian Brothers school in Uruguay. And we learned rugby. They told us, the brothers, they came to Uruguay to teach us religion and rugby. So no football at all. And we learned rugby and we learned teamwork, but they didn't told us that we were learning teamwork. We learned it playing.
Yeah.
And then we learn about sacrifice, about discipline. That were the main issues or the main values that were at the mountain, very important, and were the pillars of this ordeal.
Yeah. Okay, let's see if we can walk our viewers through the journey. So you're on the plane, you're 19 years of age, you're with your mates, you're going to play a rugby match, you love rugby as you still do, and all of a sudden the flight gets caught in bad weather, it goes off track and you crash in the Andes. Do you remember the initial impact and what was the energy of the group? Was it chaos? Was it panic? What was going on in that first hour after the crash?
Well, yes, it was a big chaos. It was not panic, but it was a big chaos. And then appeared our captain, Marcelo Pérez del Castillo, that he started giving orders and the team started working. Help him that he's bleeding, or help him he's injured.
Yeah.
Take this boy away, he's dead.
Okay.
And in that big house, our captain was very important. The vertically orders that he gave were important because there was no time for chaos. He was always leading what was happening between us, and that was very important at that moment.
Okay. And on the initial crash, how many died instantaneously?
18.
18, okay. And within that first day, I guess, what were the priorities for you as a group?
Priorities. We were very thirsty, and we were feeling very cold. Those things were feeling cold was during the 72 days that we were at the mountain. More cold, less cold, but very cold, between, they say, about 20, 30, 40 degrees below zero in different times, or by night, or when there was a storm. And we were very thirsty also. Well, first we ate snow. Afterwards, we started melting it. But snow have no minerals, so it was. We were continuously thirsty.
Okay.
We make what you think what you were drinking, but no thirsty was out. So we were continuously drinking water.
Okay.
That's the main two things. And afterwards, well, we managed to close the hole that there was in the plane, so to not be so cold by night when we were sleeping. And then we managed to work with the covers of the seats and the cushions and things like that, so to make our life a little bit more comfortable.
Okay. So the initial priorities was staying warm and staying hydrated.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, helping the people that were injured, also put them in places that nobody will touch them, or they will be more comfortable at that time.
And how was it when? So you realised that it was freezing, but you could at least stay warm to a degree, and you had something to drink. But how was it for you when more people started to die? What was? I mean, you're one of the youngest at the time. What was going on for you in your mindset?
I think that we blocked what was our feelings. So when you see something or someone that was dying, you try not to cry, you try not to see, you try not to think on it, because that person you are taking off the plane because she died would be you. So that part you try to blind it.
Okay.
Feelings were blockaded at that time, and that's why we could go along. Or else we were crying every time, and we were feeling very bad. We try at some moment, as we have our background, our religious Catholic background, that we're going through a purgatory, that boys that were good were the ones that were dying, and we that were the bad we have to continue suffering until we die.
Okay.
That was how we tried to understand what was happening to us at that moment.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So some of your other friends are dying, people that you've known for a while, but as a matter of survival, keeping your attention on task, fighting to live, you know, there were times when you had to just block the feelings out and just get on with everything and take care of people and maintain your needs at the time.
It happens to me when I was sleeping or ready to sleep, that I destroyed myself. Destroyed in the sense that I get a bath of reality, and I say it's impossible to go out of this mountain. It's all covered by snow. It's very, very cold. It's impossible. And then the next day when I awake, I was going to fight and not to surrender and continue fighting until we get away out of the mountain.
Okay, okay. So your days were sometimes polarized. In the daytime, you were just fighting. In the nighttime,
Reality came back and tells you you're not
catastrophizing and with reality.
Yes.
Wow.
You face reality and say it's impossible to go out of the mountain. But next day you start fighting again and start fighting. And that was, and afterwards, we were so decided to fight that Nando and Fernando Parrado and Roberto Canessa, they started to say we are going walking out of the mountain. And then I get my place with the expeditionaries. I was the third expeditionary with Nando, Roberto, and me. And then we started to make expeditions to different places, so to try to get out of that place.
Okay, okay. Talk to me about, so one of the big events, of course, in the movie is that you needed to eat and you made a decision to eat the flesh of the dead. Talk to me about the reality that hit you when was it the captain that made that decision?
The captain and the older guys.
Talk to me about that time where you realized you'd run out of provisions, there was no more food, zero food, and the only way of living and giving yourself a chance was to eat the flesh. Talk to me about that decision and what was going on in the minds of you all then.
Well, we had heard at that moment, at the 7th day, that the rescue will not be coming. They were searching for our bodies in December. This was in October. So the rescue was finished.
Wow.
The search was finished. Wow. So that was a big punch that we got.
Sorry to interrupt you. Was that also the time when, I don't know if it was the captain, he made a statement saying, we've got good news. Nobody's coming to rescue us. We have to rescue ourselves. Was that the same time?
Yes, at the same time. Yes,
Okay.
That's right. We heard on the radio that the searching was finished, and one of the boys entered the plane and say, I have two news to give you, one good and one bad. Well, what's the bad? The bad is the search had been finished. And what's the good? We are going walking from this place.
Yeah, okay.
It
So
was absolutely crazy at that moment because it was Maine winter, snow, 4,000 feet high. It was incredible.
yeah.
At that moment, we had what you could say your small nail of biscuit or perhaps a chocolate that you put it in your mouth and it's melted, and we drink a little lid of
Like a bottle top, was it?
bottle top. Yes,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
A bottle top of Coke, wine, whiskey, things like that. We were 28 at that moment.
Yeah.
So this was the only thing. And one night they came and said, well, we cannot continue eating these little pieces. We will all be dead. So the idea is to get energy from the flesh of the people who had died. And that was awful to see it, to hear it.
Yeah.
Why? Because they were telling you we are going to eat people they were fellow companions at school for 12 years. The boys who have been training with us last week.
Yeah.
And we were also going over a social taboo, a religious taboo, and it was not so easy. But all the circumstances was like push us to take that decision.
Okay.
And at first we were shocked. Afterwards, we say this is between death and life.
Yeah.
You can choose.
Yeah.
And at 19 years, we choose life.
Okay.
And we make also a deal between the 28 that were there,
Yeah.
that the ones that were alive must remain alive, eating the people that died. So it was a main ordeal, or you could say a main decision
Yes.
with all of us. We were all in it.
Team decision.
Team decision, that's right.
Okay.
Because afterwards, it make it easy also for the fathers, for the boys that didn't came, to understand what happens at that moment.
Okay. And when you ate the flesh, could you feel a difference? Did you feel some energy?
No,
No.
no, no.
You wasn't aware of that.
It was frozen. It was difficult to swallow. It was difficult to swallow the throat and in your head
Yeah,
also.
for sure.
But afterwards, it came like, well, it's necessary. We ate once a day, a portion, and there was the only food we would take. You couldn't say we felt more, with more energy or things like that.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I think it didn't happen because we were losing weight continuously until we were rescued. So it was more the energy that we wasted, the energy that enters us.
Okay. And did anybody refuse to eat the flesh?
Yes, at first, Metol and his wife, they said they didn't want it, but next day they decided it was the only wise solution or the only wise decision to make.
Okay.
Continue with life, continue living.
And talk to me about the avalanche, because on the movie it looks horrific. Was the avalanche after you made the decision to eat the flesh or before?
The avalanche was after.
How was that for you?
We were ready to sleep. At that moment, I was sleeping over the head of my fellow companions, straight up, not bended as we usually slept.
Right.
Because I got cramps. And I was with more cushions and more
Blankets.
Blankets, yes, more blankets. The blankets were the part that covers the seats, no?
Yeah.
And I covered my face, and at that moment, something something appears on my head, and I touch, and it was snow, and I say, "Who's playing with snow?" And when I see the plane, it was all covered. The only boys that were not covered were the three that were in a hammock. They were very injured. I remember that they made no sound. They only watched me. And it was, I could say they watched me, I see, but it was all dark because the snow covered all the plane. So I jump to the snow and start digging. Roy Harley appeared also and started digging, and we start taking the boys. And as we slept elbow with elbow, when you took one, it appears the shape of the other, and then it appears one dead, two alive, three dead, one alive.
Right.
And in seconds passed through, and we were at that moment 19 alive. And we,
After the avalanche.
after the avalanche, yes.
Oh, okay.
And there was awful. I could say that perhaps more than the crash time or more than all the decisions we make, because we were with our socks wet over the snow, with our fellow companions buried there. I could not say I feel the cold, but it was very cold at the moment. I think there was other things that were very important, like life. That you didn't bother about how cold you were at that moment.
Yeah.
And we stayed 3 days there, all covered.
Wow.
With very little clothes, all wet. It was awful. And it also happens that when the avalanche came and we were all together, we started lighting lighters.
Lighters, yeah.
And the flame
Disappeared.
They say, well, it's no gas with okay, yours. And everyone started lighting,
Right.
and the light wasn't. There was no oxygen, so we almost died because we having oxygen there. So we get a big pole that was a part of the plane that was very deteriorated, and we push it through. Snow came down and air came.
Okay.
And there we stayed about 3 days until we started making a tunnel that went to the cabin, then up to the cabin, and afterwards you could get off the plane. And when you get off the plane, it was all covered, all covered. We lost our seats, we lost our machines for water, we lost all the things that were useful for us, and we have to start it once again.
You have to start again. And is your captain still alive at this point?
No, he died in the avalanche. So now power in the plane changes. There appear the three cousins.
Yeah.
Eduardo Strauch, Fito Strauch, and Daniel Fernandez Strauch. They were elder ones, and also they were cousins between each other.
Yeah.
So they were a main power. And afterwards, that power was balanced by the expeditionaries.
Okay.
So balance was very balanced, but there were not very important decisions afterwards that were taken. No?
Okay. So when you eventually came through the avalanche and you started again, what was the main focus then? Was it, we've got to get out of here, let's start some expeditions? Was that when you started to venture out?
We started at first expeditions that were very near, so to try to see where we were. We didn't know where we were. Afterwards, when the team of expeditions was really made, we started with going towards what water goes. So the flow of water, that we try to follow with Nando and Roberto. And once we find the tail of the plane, and we knew because the mechanic told us that there were the 50% of the luggage was in the tail, and also the batteries of the plane. So we thought that we got the batteries, we could make work the radio of the plane. And it was like a naive thinking. Nothing that we thought there was really happened in the same way. We thought that we were get the batteries and we connect and we say, okay, come and rescue us, we are alive. We brought the radio and the antenna to the tail, but the precision instrument that we have was an axe. We have to cut everything with an axe. So, we brought it to the tail. We tried to put the cables together. They were all numbered. It was impossible. It didn't work.
Right.
But the tail was a kind of a base that we got. We also managed with what was very important because afterwards when we find the tail, we stay 1 day there. We connect the batteries so we have light. We read comics by night.
Okay.
But it was a very comfortable place.
Right.
We light the three of us together, and it was nice to be there. But we have to continue our expedition. So next day we continue all day walking, going down, 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 and we start to find some holes in the snow, and they were very deep. And when you see it, you see a little flow of water, and we get a little bit afraid because until that moment we never saw that kind of deep.
That drop.
Yes. And night came, we have to sleep. So we get some snow away from the earth, but we didn't know there was the earth was also frozen.
Right.
So we slept there. It was impossible to sleep. We burned some books that we brought with us, and when the first lights appeared, we went to the tail, and we stayed all day sleeping. We were very tired, and luckily we didn't slept because we would be frozen in the place, no. And there we managed to get some covers, a kind of synthetic cloth that covered the air conditioner of the plane. There was very no water cannot penetrate it, and cold neither. So with that material, afterwards we decided to make a sleeping bag.
Wow.
And that was the only thing that we thought, because all that happens in the plane was not luck, we thought what we're going to do, what will be the results, what will happen, and there were a kind of logistic, strategic. We thought everything that we make that happens there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the only thing that we were not thinking about, sleeping by night. And that that sleeping bag was very important in the story, because when it was finished, we could sleep by night and not get frozen sleeping there. So that was to continue day by day with the sleeping bag, and that's what happens really in the last expedition.
Okay. Tell me a bit more about the expeditions. Did it seem like a fruitless exercise? What was the hope like? What was going on for you?
Well, for us it was, we were looking for a place that would take us out of the mountain. We were thinking always in what will happen and what will we see after that rock, or what at that elevation. And we were always making exercise. So we were walking down, walking up, going from one place to another. We got our minds much different from the boys that stayed at the fuselage of the plane, because what they lived there was very monotonous. Every day was the same.
Yeah.
They take off the bags, they went off the plane, they make water, they eat, they came back to the plane, they close, and the atmosphere was very heavy.
Right.
So for us, it was different. We have a different challenge. We have different views of things, and we were always in a positive way, you could say.
Okay, moving towards something.
Yes, yes.
Okay. And talk to me about the time when you saw potential life. You know, when I watched the movie, the time when you saw the farmer, was it?
Well, I didn't arrive with Roberto and Nando to the farmer.
Who was it who found the farmer?
Roberto and Nando.
Yeah.
Find the farmer, Sergio Catalan.
Wow.
And but that was the really end of our story. And in that last expeditions, I was with them.
Yeah.
And it was after Numa Turcati died. There was a big shock for everyone. So the cousin says, you are leaving tomorrow. So they bring us a knapsacks and told us, this is your knapsack Tintin, this is yours Roberto, and this is yours Nando. And we got us a knapsack, we put them, really the knapsack was trousers that were close together. We made them.
Yeah.
And 30 years later, in an asado we were talking about, and they told me, you know that your knapsack weight about between 30 or 40 kilos? I see. I see. That's why it was very hard for me to climb that mountain.
Yeah.
Until today, I do not know what Nando and Roberto's takes in their knapsacks.
Yeah.
Because that was mine. That's why I say, this is your Tintin. And it happens in life also, that you have your problems, your knapsacks, that you must go with it through life.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if your neighbor it's lighter than you or have nothing in it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's yours. Yours is yours, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was the one that I have to climb up about 500 meters.
Yeah.
And it was why when I arrived there, I was very, very tired. And when they asked me if I could leave them the food and go back, I say yes. So I gladly, and also was a kind of B plan, because we saw a black street. We don't know. It was perhaps it wasn't, but it was. We were looking all evening. If something moved, if something bright, but it was the idea to go also to the east part as the first expedition that we made. And when they told me you go back, I gladly sledged down, and it took me 3 days to arrive to the top. Wow. In about 2 hours, I was back in the plane.
Wow.
It was a funny thing, no? It was funny. It was for me. It was very nice to go sledging down. You have another thinking. Perhaps I could have enjoyed if it wasn't for that circumstances.
Yeah.
Nando and Roberto afterwards continue walking 7 days more until arrive with Sergio Catalan. There was a stream. There was a stream where snow melted, so it's very hard, lots of rocks and very cold, and they could not go across. And they saw him in the other part of the river with a horse, and he afterwards told us he thought there were a couple that were playing, because they start running and one fall and one gave him the hand and pull him up.
Wow.
And they say they're playing. And afterwards, when they arrived to the edge of the river, he told them, I'm coming tomorrow. And he went back, and they went back to a tree, and they stayed there for that night.
Wow. So the final expedition, how long were they walking for in total on the final expedition?
For me, it took me 3 days. For Nando and Roberto, afterwards, there were 7 more days, so 10 days were 10 days.
With limited food to eat.
Yes, not only that, but we were extremely thin at that moment.
Yeah, of course.
I went with 90 kilos, and at that moment I was something like 60 kilos. And it happens more or less for all of us. And we were in the limit of our strength, I think. Wow. We push it to the limit, I think.
And how was the feeling when you got rescued? Did you find out before, or was it just a surprise to see
No,
the helicopter?
in the same small radio that we heard that the search had been finished, we got that radio again, put them on, and we heard that 2 Uruguayans had appeared. We knew at that moment it was Nando and Roberto, so we start preparing our bags to be rescued. Wow. It's funny because at that moment, through all the 72 days, everything was used by everyone. But when we heard that they were going to rescue us, we got our bag and started picking up our things. We got property again. That's funny. And well, we heard the helicopters that were coming. It was about 3 o'clock in the evening, so it's not a very good time to fly in the Cordillera because it's with the winds and things like that, very hard. And the first day was complicated. When the first helicopter arrived, one of them passed through and threw some boxes. Then I remember I got angry because they were throwing far away. And I say, I'm not going to gather them. After them, people from the rescue went and gathered the food that they and we passed one night. I was one of the boys that stayed 73 days at the mountain, and that night we ate everything they had in the knapsacks. We ate the food that they threw, and we sing, and we have a very nice time. And the next day, the helicopters came by the morning, and we have a very good flight to Dos Maitenes, then to San Fernando. It's a city in Chile, and afterwards to the Aposta Central, that's the central hospital in Santiago, with an heliport. And we arrived there. And an amazing thing was when we arrived, everyone was clapping, was cheering, and we look each other and say, "What happened?
Yeah, I can imagine.
Why is all these people here?
Yeah.
What have we done?" We didn't understand. And afterwards, through the window, they say, "I'm from London BBC. I'm from Paris Match." You couldn't believe it. They say, "What's happening here?" The only thing that we have preserved our lives and want to be back home with our fathers, mothers, and brothers.
Yeah. And how was that when you got home eventually to your family?
It was very nice because I went again to my room. I went again to my smells. Went again to my father, mother, see them again. That at that moment, that was very macho. I told them, "Okay, I see you on Thursday." No? And afterwards, I blamed myself. Don't give them a kiss. Don't say to them, "I love you. I will be back on Thursday." And you get guilty because you didn't told them what you really feel for them. And how could they know that you love them if you don't say it? So I could say them, have the lucky possibility to say them, "I love you, and big hug with them, big kisses, and was a very, very, very nice.
So you left your ego in the Andes.
Yes, certainly. No, that was one of the things that I learned in the Andes, no? That you must express your feelings, how you are feeling, especially to your father, to people who you love, because we always think that we are forever, and we are not forever. Perhaps in a moment, perhaps in a day, you won't see them anymore, and you didn't told them what you really feel.
So you've returned home, you've reconnected with your beloved family on a nice deep level. I'm imagining that there was some challenges for you when you got back. The integration. Did you have any challenges going back into everyday life? And
well, that was I say that my father have a wise decision, because we went back to Montevideo on the 28th of December, and I remember that evening that we're taking a soup, and when I look around the table, it was first row, second row, third row, lots of people, and I was drinking my soup and watching. And my father told me, on the 13th we are going to a seaside resort about 300 kilometers from Montevideo, and he said, "No, you can take me there. there's no people there. This is great.
Yeah.
I was starting to be feeling different, no?
Okay.
Say, no, no, this is not a discussion, we are going. And he took me back, and it's a very small little town,
Yeah.
and I say hello to 10 or 20 of them. And from that moment, there was one more, and I stayed to December to March. In March, I started university again,
Okay.
and life was quite like all,
Okay. Okay.
with ups and downs.
Yeah. So teamwork. This is a beautiful story of teamwork, and I know that you do a lot of talks to different teams, and so when you're talking to a team and they ask you, hey, how did you work as a team? Why did you survive? You know, how did you manage to get out of 4,000 meters in the middle of the Andes and eventually come back to normality over 72 days? Like, how did you not die? How did you survive? How did you create this miracle? Like, what was it about the team that worked together to really achieve this miracle of survival?
The main thing is that all that were at the mountain give the 100% they have to give. And what does it mean? There were people that make water during 72 days. Other clean the plane. Other beware of blankets so they were not humid or they were not wet by night. Others were the expeditionary team. We were the legs of the people that stayed at the plane.
Yeah.
And also they make a big sacrifice because they give us better conditions. We could choose the place and we could sleep. We have double ration of food. We're exonerated of working, and we could ask you for your clothes or for your shoes, and they give it to you, and they say everything were willing to sacrifice so to give you good conditions. But the main thing is they all did the best they could. They give their 100% they have to the team, and it's also they were giving to the team. They were not asking the team to the team. You have to be a little bit. You beware yourself to be in good conditions to give to the other people.
Yeah.
So, and we couldn't say we knew how we work. Nobody press a button and say now we are going to do teamwork.
Yeah.
But teamwork is also based on discipline and sacrifice. I think that those are the main virtues or the main qualities of what happens there.
Yeah.
Sacrifice and discipline.
Yeah.
Discipline was in the chaos. It was very important what Marcelo made, and after what Marcelo ordered, and how the team worked. Afterwards, when Marcelo died, with the cousins and with the expeditionaries, we were all universitaries.
Yeah.
You could say, no, I have a different idea. We are not following what you want. We'll be discussing until today. And we have the humility also to say, that's a good idea. We push all together with that idea.
Yeah.
So that's why the story is very, very heavy.
Yeah.
But what it happens, discipline, sacrifice, humility, no, from each of one, and appears the human part, the nice human part of each of us,
Yeah.
instead of the wild part, the friendship, the love. Those things that were the important parts, because it also happens that when we are at the mountain, your mask was thrown away.
Yeah.
At first, you have your mask. I'm My name is, I live, my father I have a car. There in the mountains, no value for that. What was value was your person. So your mask was turned out, and we were pure between each other.
Yeah.
So that was very important.
So your mask was ripped off by nature and you were just revealed as your authentic selves, or more of your authentic selves.
It was, I don't know, it was by nature, but it was unnecessary, your mask.
Yeah.
You need to show yourself as you were,
Yeah.
because nothing that happens here in the city could help you there. So we need you pure. We need you as you are,
Yeah.
not as you think that you are or as you show.
Yeah, fascinating. What role did, I mean, look, everybody perceives it different, but you mentioned the word love, but also religion, spirituality. What role did that play out in over the 72 days? You know, God connecting to something greater than yourself, removing the ego, trusting that something divine would bring you through. Did that play a role?
For some, it played a very important role. For me, I was very angry with God. We fight each other because I could not understand that good God that I was taught at school, that first with 19 years old crashed the plane. 7 days later, I hear that search had been finished. 19 days later, I have to eat my fellow companions so to be with continue alive. And afterwards, an avalanche came. Where is the good God that I was taught?
Yeah.
Where is handsome, nice friend? I couldn't believe what was happening to us. So we fight for the boys that stay at the plane. They say always that there was a miracle. For the 3 expeditionaries, we always thought that there was a success of human fighting against the tragedy, against what's making you keep in the mountain. It's the strength of human being fighting against tragedy.
The strength of human being.
The strength of human
in
being.
union.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so just coming towards the end, I've got some final questions. So you're 19 years of age on the plane, and you've been through a pretty severe 72-day initiation into manhood, really. I know it's a long time ago, but what changed when you went back home in terms of you, your behavior, your perception, your thoughts, your attitude to God, the way you connect to people, the way you speak to people, your worldview? Did anything tangible change for you?
The big change, I think, that it is the big difference between a survivor and other people, is the way we pass through a big challenge. I know how I'm able to support or to cold, to feel very bad. I know my limit.
Yeah.
I know how much I can feel and how much I can.
So your window of tolerance expanded.
Yes, that's right. Expanded, and get you to the top of it. So that's the difference. We passed through a test.
Yeah.
And I think that we learn that human being, had a very hard strength inside, and we do not take the time to look inside. Look inside is not looking; it's taking the time to think how you could do things.
Yeah.
As I always say, big mountains are climbed step by step, little by little, making every day a little step.
Yeah.
And that's part of the human being, of the strength, our will. Our will is something tremendous, something very great that we have inside.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we do not look in our bad moments that we have that strength inside. And perhaps it's easy to get a recipe or look inside.
Yeah.
We are very much stronger than we think. What we think.
Yeah. Amazing.
And yes, and things. And what does that give you? Gives you the. I know what I want. I know how to get it, and I have to have the time to reach it.
Yeah. Yeah. Wonderful. And so the most recent film about the crash has been made. I remember speaking to you a long time ago, and you was a bit worried, but I spoke to you last time I saw you. You're happy with the new movie, The Society of the Snow, and one of our friends played you in the movie, a former Uruguayan rugby player, Della. And
Agustín de la Corte.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I remember speaking to you last time I was in Uruguay doing some work with a rugby team, and you were telling me that after this movie, all of a sudden, there's been an explosion again, and you're sought after. People want to hear the story. You've done a lot of interviews, podcasts, time in Chile. How's that been for you?
It has been very, very shaky, very movie in the sense of we have to move. It moves inside you.
Yeah.
Lot of conference. People wants to hear what you pass through to tell you the story, and you could say, yes. What happens? The people that got through the Andes are still alive. You could ask them questions. They could tell you what they feel.
Yeah.
That's the main part.
Yeah.
And you could also ask them questions. And it happens that lots of people about 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 years that haven't appeared before in for example, in the film My Life, now with the Snow Society appeared. And they want to hear the story, they make questions about it. They are very curious with that matter. Yes,
It must be nice for you seeing a younger audience appear.
Yes, it's nice because I think they need to be. They are looking for limits.
Yeah.
And this is a story of limits, of how the human being fights for the limits.
So my final question is, how old are you now, Tintin?
I will be 71 in July in this month.
You were 71 in July. So what's important for you now moving into the next stage of your life? Like where's your energy going? You know, who do you spend your time with? What you're looking forward to?
Main energy is with family, wife, sons, nietos, grandsons.
Yeah.
Especially they play rugby, but it doesn't matter if they play rugby. My granddaughter plays hockey, and I like it very much. Yeah. You know what is to lose your family, so now you want to be in your family. When you need, what happens? You, in the big trouble, you always go to the closest part of your family, of your little family. And that's what I learned from the Andes also. In the bad moments, you get into what the little part of your family, you know? And I think that is very important. It is the things that give you happiness now.
Yeah.
Little work, supervising things, but the main thing I think it's family,
Beautiful.
and also seen some rugby,
Yeah.
making some training.
Uh-huh.
It's funny, but I haven't. I left playing,
Yeah.
but then I not left training.
No, because every time I come here, you're always in that gym.
Yes, yes. I think that's good for
Yeah.
my age to
Yeah.
be, well,
Yeah.
more or less in conditions.
Yeah, great.
Not for playing, but for leaving.
Yeah. Well, I'm really thankful to you for allowing me to ask you some questions today. It's a wonderful story, and I love being around you. Your energy is one of love and kindness, and so thank you so much for being on the podcast.
It has been a pleasure talking to you, being with you, and for you, and nice questions you make also.
Yeah. And I'd also like to take this moment to thank the world of rugby, because if it wasn't for the world of rugby and the sport of rugby, I wouldn't have the chance to come to your amazing country, and I would have never have met you. So I'd like to thank rugby for that as well.
Yes, I also thank rugby that make it possible to meet together.
Yeah.
And in the back part, this is a rugby story.
Yeah, great. Well, I hope you take inspiration from Tintin's story. And please, if you've not watched it, go to Netflix and watch Society of the Snow. It's an incredible story and a very, very accurate story of the 72-day ordeal in the Andes.